There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believe in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as funny as it can be, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Hi everybody, it's Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, jumping on here really fast to bring you a tiny little thrift haul and a correction. But before I get into my correction, we started off with a recording from the radio in the 1930s. It's only a paper moon, and I forget who's singing or who's at the console. Let's jump into what I messed up on. Yes, you've seen this goblet before, and when I showed it to you, I don't know, a month or 2 months ago, I erroneously attributed it to Anchor Hocking Moonstone. I see a lot of Anchor Hocking Moonstone. I love the pattern. It's very affordable. It doesn't seem to be one that's too expensive at auction, internet auction, so if you like it, you can pick it up pretty easily. Anchor Hocking only manufactured it for a short period, just a couple of years in the early 40s to mid 40s, and but other companies made opalescent hobnail as well. Fenton, of course, and this is actually a Fenton goblet, not an Anchor Hocking. So I want to correct my mistake, but I also want to show you how to tell the difference. It seems as though the Fenton piece has a little higher value than the Anchor Hocking. But still, at internet auction, I would only expect this Fenton piece, maybe $8 to $10 for the goblet. But I'll show you the difference. Let's see, what am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to insert a Fenton photograph at some point while I'm talking. But I'll show you, I pulled out one of my depression glass books, which gives a description of the Hocking Moonstone. And if you'll look closely at the stems, you'll see, what do you see? Let's look at that one. Look at the stem, or lack of stem. I'll say look at the foot. Now look at this one. All right, look at the design on the stem and look at the Hocking piece. You'll see the Hocking piece, the foot does not have the opalescent effect, and it also has these embossed rays that radiate out from the center, and we see a flat foot or base on this piece. So when I pulled this out, you know, I'm actually getting ready to decide, well, what am I going to take to flea markets this spring? And initially I was just going to go ahead and take this to a flea market. I pulled it out and I got to looking at it and I said, wait a minute, I think I messed up. So here is a Fenton piece, and I'm inserting into this speech a photograph. You can see here's a Fenton Hobnail piece, and it's got its original label on the bottom, sticker, and that's what this goblet is that I have right here in my hands. So very similar again in style. The Fenton Hobnail pieces were made from 1939 into the early 60s, had a much longer run with Fenton than it did with Anchor Hocking. And if you go on replacements, they're asking 29 bucks per goblet. Woo! When I go on eBay, I see they're really only selling for between 10 bucks per goblet and on a good day. Probably really closer to $8. So I just wanted to make that correction, and because I try to be as accurate as I can. So let's move on to what else is left. I have to jump in and show you this, because when I saw it, I just about got, everybody say it with me,
detached retina.
Now it was on the bottom shelf and I looked down at it and I thought first, that's got to be plastic. It's probably just something sold at Target. It's not plastic at all. It's screaming late 50s, very early 60s. And it seems as though this actually does date to about 1958, 1959. She's got her pearls on and her earrings, even though they're blue. The little starbursts are back there. Let's have a pizza party. It's 13 inches, I think, with handles. It's in great shape. A couple of tiny surface scratches. And I've never seen that particular Napco stamp. I'll let you look at it. If it's Napco, it's new. Didn't really do a whole lot of research on that, but other than to find out that I think this dates to 1958 or 59. I saw one of these sold in the last 90 days with the two handles, and it sold for $30 on eBay. I think that's low. I'm not going to let this go for 30 bucks. I love it. I am going to sell it, but I don't know what I'm going to ask for it yet. I just think it's great. I think it's uncommon. There are no chips on it, no cracks, as I said. So we'll see what happens with that. But it will eventually be listed in my eBay shop. A couple pieces of ephemera. This is all listed in my eBay shop right now from 1950. How to get the most out of your Sunbeam mixer. This is from the 40s, a guide to Florida with all the old hotels in it. And this is World's Fair, Marvels of New York City from 1938 or 37. The fair was in 39, and I love what they wrote. After seeing New York in person, the next best thing is seeing New York in pictures. And then it's signed, what does that say? Miriam McFarlane, July the 15th, 1939. So undoubtedly somebody took a trip to see the 1939 World's Fair, but they picked up this souvenir book, which is actually dated 1937. So they hadn't yet built. They were building the fair at that time, but of course it wasn't open. Cool little piece of ephemera. There's a 10-inch hand-painted oil lamp shade, Gone with the Wind, Rochester lamp, whatever you want to call it. This is currently for sale in my eBay shop, and it's up to, at this moment, $26, and I think it closes tonight. So I don't know what time, when you're going to see this video, but these have some value, especially if they are hand-painted, and you can always tell when you get them in the light and you see the brush strokes, and you can see that it's not a decal. There aren't any chips or cracks on that. I'll ship anything. I'm not afraid to pack and ship, so I'm not worried about shipping it safely. I paid $5 for it, and it's currently at $26. It's not plugged in, but it works. There's a little 9-inch Christmas tree with all of the little jewels, and they're not glued in there, so you can pull them out. And you actually even get a bag of extras in case you lose any. This one is unsigned, but it's one of those 1970s homemade jobs. And I like it because it's really, really small. That's also currently up for auction in my eBay shop. Here are some little Easter guys. Now the little tulip girl has already, or daffodil girl has already sold. I hate to tease you with that, but she sold for $32. Excuse me, and I'll just let you see her. 1958 Napco. And there were surprisingly no chips on this. So that was a good find. Bunny pulling a cabbage cart, probably Japan, but I don't think there's anything on the bottom of it. That's for sale. And a duck salt and pepper shaker. These are called hangers. He's carrying his salt and pepper. And we'll pull those off. Oh, well, they do also sit on the table. Let me pull my camera back. They sit on the table as well as hang from his arms. Isn't that cute? Let you see him. Aww. He's also no chips, no cracks. All right, let's do this again. Come on now. Okay. Gotcha. And he's currently for sale as well. He would look nice on your Easter table. I don't know what this is. It might have sold last week at Ross. I have no clue. But I got it because it was cheap and I really like it. Really pretty for Easter. It kind of looks old because of the old cracks in the glaze. But there's nothing on the back. Anybody know? Completely unmarked. It looks like there might have been something stuck right there. I don't think it's a homemade ceramic. I think it's too well done for that. So, no clue. But it was inexpensive and I like it, and it's going to be for sale in my eBay shop as well. Back there are 3 slip shades. I paid $2 each, and they're, let's see, they're up for sale. I think the auction ends tonight, and they're currently at $149 for the set of 3. I'm inserting a photograph right here to show you how they would have hung inside of a fixture or on wall sconces, and they date to circa 1930, late 20s into the early 30s. And again, they are Art Deco glass slip shades because they slip down into the holder. And when I saw these at the thrift store, I grabbed them in a heartbeat. What you can't really see very well underneath of them are 2 pieces of Art Deco blue glass. They were not manufactured as dresser trays. Some of them were, but these weren't. These were tabletop inserts. They're in great shape, even though you can't see that. They date to the mid-30s, and they are for auction right now, and they're currently, I think, sitting at $49. I will do a go back to my old videos of guess what sold and show you the prices after the things sell. That I knew who that was the minute. Do you know who this is? Hold on, let's get that. Oops, wait a minute. Let's get that out of the way. Am I the? Hold on. Okay, who is it? Now, being a history fan and a fan of the 1930s, 20s, and 30s, I knew who it was the minute I saw it. Do you know who it is? It's not a movie actor. Who is it? It's a politician. No, it's not Herbert Hoover. I'll let you read this. That's right. The former mayor of New York City from, I think he was elected in 26, and he resigned in 32. Now this photograph was taken in, it looks like May 28th of 1932. I think it was September the 1st of 32 that he resigned. So this is just a few months before his resignation. There was so much corruption in New York City at that time, and Jimmy Walker was right in the middle of it. FDR was not yet president. He was governor of the state, and he was pressuring him to resign. But once FDR got the nomination, secured the nomination after the convention, he went ahead and said, before he was elected, twisted his arm and got him to resign. So if you're interested in more of the 1920s politics about New York City, you could look up Jimmy Walker. But that's an original 1930s press photograph. I'm keeping it because it probably doesn't have any value at all. And then finally, a couple of 1920s Easter postcards, which I will probably just, not postcards, these were greeting cards. They look like postcards, but these would have been mailed in an envelope with a stamp on the envelope. So early greetings cards were not folded. They were actually similar to postcards. And I'll let you take a look at how beautiful these are. And Mamie sent that one. It's blank on the back. And Mamie also sent this one. I'll let you read that. I think she includes a note. And she says, "Dear Gladys, no, I'm not dead. Just too lazy or busy to write. But I will try and... Try and what? But I will try and something you... Oh, I will try and drop you a line after Easter, Mamie." Well, it's good to know. I'm sure Gladys was thrilled to know that Mamie was not yet dead. Although I'm sure she is now. She sent this card in the 20s. Okay, there it is. So, it's not Anchor Hocking, it's Fenton. My mistake corrected. Anybody know what that is? I'd love to know. All right, that's it. It's Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching and so long for now.